Mr. Brock, back to you for 5 minutes, please.
I want to return to Minister Champagne's announcement to Canadians in June of this year, giving the impression that the NRC would provide that oversight sooner than later. But what we learn now is NRC is not going to provide any oversight until the end of Q4, March 31st of 2025. In the interim, it's literally the same old SDTC, just under perhaps a different chair and 3 different directors. Same employees, nothing has changed. Funding has started. TAP started to run again in June. So it begs the question, type of oversight that is being exemplified by this government. According to the press release, he indicates that his department, ISED, will enhance oversight and monitoring of funding during the transition period. So, how often is Minister Champagne involved in discussions with the NRC, giving them updates about his observations and supervision of funding? How often are you meeting with him?
Mr. Chair, the NRC, myself, and our employees are not meeting directly with the Minister on the topic. We would work with the Department of ISED, and of course we've mentioned also that we're working with SCTC interim board and employees.
Sorry, you as the President are not communicating directly with the Minister?
On this topic, actively involved on the transition. We're working with all the officials and the individuals that have the
question is, are you
job.
talking to the Minister?
I haven't spoken to the Minister on the file.
Is the Minister talking to anyone else at the NRC, to your knowledge?
Mr. Chair, I wouldn't be aware of any contact directly from the Minister to other members of my team in terms of this file. No, certainly not.
So you can't even tell Canadians at this point what it means when he says his department will be enhancing oversight and monitoring of funding during the transition period. You can't speak to that because you're not speaking to the Minister.
So, Mr. Chair, the Deputy Minister of the Department has appeared here and spoke to what measures they're undertaking.
It's not my question.
It's for the Department to give an account on their work.
Sir, it's my time. Thank you. You are not able to educate Canadians as to what the Minister meant by saying he's going to provide enhanced oversight and monitoring of funding. You're not speaking with him, so you don't know what he means by that, do you?
Mr. Chair, as far as what we'll do to run this program when it's transferred to us, I've spoken to that in my testimony.
That's not my question. Simply say yes or no. You don't know what that means. During this transition period, you're not communicating with the Minister. You don't know what enhanced monitoring means, do you?
Mr. Chair, the responsibility for the files that SDTC has now rests with the Foundation. It has a new board.
Not you. So you can't answer that question.
Well, Mr. Chair,
okay.
the board
he also talked about a reinforced contribution agreement with ISED. We know that the existing contribution agreements were extremely violated to the tune of $390 million going to companies that were simply ineligible or were conflicted. So what is the reinforced contribution agreement?
Mr. Chair, just that would be a question to be addressed to ISED.
Right.
Who has responsibility for the contribution agreement, not with us.
Right. So Canadians are no more the wiser after hearing this testimony today as to what changes Minister Champagne has introduced for over the next 10 months until SDTC comes under your review and ambit at the end of Q4. I guess we're supposed to say, listen to the government. We'll just trust the government that they're going to do best. They're going to learn from their mistakes, and they're going to ensure that they're going to be proper economic stewards of our taxpayer funds. It's a just trust me type of response. You're not in communication with him. Canadians are no longer confident as to how he's complying with reviewing everything that's being funded in the green tech energy sector. We have no idea, do we?
Mr. Chair, I believe at the time this was raised, I'm not sure exactly the date, but funding was suspended. And then a new board has been put in place, and that changes everything at the Foundation about who directs
the other question that Canadians have in mind is how are we going to recover that $393 million that was improperly transferred. What do you say to Canadians? What is the process that the government has shared with you as to how we're going to recoup that money?
Mr. Chair, the question of recovery was discussed in a previous testimony. I believe questions were asked of the Deputy Minister, other witnesses that have been here. Those questions are best asked to the department.
To your knowledge, has it started? Has the recovery process started?
Mr. Chair, the NRC isn't involved with the current files of SDTC. I'm not in no position to answer the member's question, sorry.
Well, presumably you're going to be answering these questions at the end of Q4. So you're not talking about it now as to what steps the government is taking to recover taxpayer funds?
So, Mr. Chair, what we anticipate is the files that will be transferred to us will be ones that are in good standing that we can carry forward and continue to administer the agreements that are transferred to us and the relationship with those clients. That's how the process has been structured. So questions as to recovery and so on would be, of course, best addressed to other parties.
Thank you very much. Mr. Weiler, you have the floor again for 5 minutes, please.
Thank you, Chair, and I really appreciate the answers that our witnesses are giving today. But I do want to pick up on the line of questioning that my colleague, Ms. Bradford, had on the HR violations at SDTC. Can you speak to any strategies that you have in place to investigate and resolve the allegations of HR violations within SDTC going forward?
Mr. Chair, I don't think it will be the place for the NRC to investigate violations related to a prior employer. Obviously, our jurisdiction will be with our employees, the people that join the NRC, and then how we work with them to have a good workplace where they feel that they can do their job, do it best, and uphold public trust that's placed in us. But the NRC has no role in terms of investigative activities involving with SDTC, the foundation, and I think those are questions that have been looked at under prior processes that have been discussed here and so on, but I'm not in a position directly to speak to that work.
Okay, within NRC and IRAP, and within your employees, how are whistleblowers protected?
So, Mr. Chair, there's a number of levels, of course, that are important. Certainly, individuals who might feel there could be reprisals or actions taken if they raised concerns. So, as I'd mentioned, we have a process where employees can disclose concerns. They come to our most senior ethics officer. They're reviewed, investigated as one would expect, establishing the facts, and then coming up with resolution for those issues in the case that it's warranted. And that process also protects those employees from any recusal or any, I should say, any actions to be taken because they've raised questions or concerns. And then there's obviously an act of Parliament, a law that provides them that protection as well that applies to all of our employees, and they can go to the parliamentary officer to raise concerns if they wish to have those things investigated, if they so choose.
Thank you. Changing gears a little bit, with regard to both IRAP and STDC, I'm wondering if you could speak to how both programs may interact and complement each other in terms of their impacts in the innovation supply chain, because it does seem to me that there is that level of complementarity.
Chair, I think if you look at the funding that NRC IRAP provides compared to the funding that SDTC has provided, essentially there is a sort of a continuum of support where NRC IRAP would work at an earlier stage and provide a smaller amount of funding at an earlier stage of a company, and then SDTC is providing more funding and obviously working at a subsequent point of the business's evolution. It's not a perfect continuum or linear in any way, and then there would be cases where clients were clients of IRAP or also clients of SDTC. So I think as far as the questions goes, we can certainly see how we can provide a continuum of support within the programming that we'll be offering to clean tech innovators from the earliest stage to later stages in their development and growth.
So when both are merged under the Canadian Innovation Corporation, how do you see this framework supporting innovation and growth in the Canadian economy more writ large?
So, Mr. Chair, of course, the Canada Innovation Corporation and the question of how it would work is something that was subject of a blueprint that was issued by the government some time ago to explain its goals and its objectives, obviously to provide a continuous support to innovators and entrepreneurs. And it would, by virtue of that blueprint, provide support from the earlier stage to later stages where more significant funding might be involved in terms of particular technologies, particular risks, things that are hard to get up off the ground, and where public support will be warranted. And the purposes of the company, or the corporation, the Crown Corporation in that case, will be able to provide a continuum of support to those innovators and entrepreneurs. So in some ways, the bringing in of SDTC into NRC IRAP is sort of a first stage of that kind of system where we start at the early stage, get a relationship with a company, provide support through regular IRAP, but also be able to work with them later on as they grow, and the challenges are increased in terms of scaling those firms up so that they become sustainable businesses.
Thank you. If you have a short one, go ahead.
I'll just end it there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.